Okay. Um, I don't know whether I should introduce myself. I think I met or most of you, if not all of you, on Zoom or in person. My name is Dan, a founder for Haddee Education. All of you are Haddee students. One of the Haddee parents is here as well. Um, I want to talk about this because I think it's very, very important. And I want to talk about it because I'm sitting here right next to UC Berkeley. I'm this, resident of Berkeley. Both my kids studied at Berkeley. The younger one just graduated. And I'm also a volunteer lead for Berkeley parents for Mandarin speaking groups. And so I've been supporting through 2021, mainly the freshmen incoming students enrolled. The parents have a lot of questions, over 2,000 or close to 3,000 parents. By just working with the parents as a volunteer, community service, I really observed that once the students come into college, the landscape is completely different. The first thing is that the students' transcripts would not be available by the parents by default. If students want to share, that's fine. Like, some of the students are in Canyon Crest Academy, which my son went to school, CCA, which I can have access to the students' transcripts and assignment grading, this and that. But in college, completely different. So this is really a kind of the situation because I'm dealing with every day, almost every day for 5 years, and I think that getting the kids, students being independent is much more important than any other skills that we are cultivating throughout the high school journey. And some students may be in college, and I welcome the students who graduate from Haddie are in college or graduate students and coming back. And unfortunately, a lot of them are not here, which is completely fine. However, a lot of them are facing, the whole society, younger generation is facing challenge for getting a job as well. Not only getting into college, after college at UC Berkeley, in Stanford, even in MIT, students are facing some challenges, okay? And this is, again, some of the skills will be very helpful down the road as well. So we're talking about really essential skills here. Okay, so let's start. Slideshow. And I think it's being recorded. And okay, so I'm going to move this. Okay, so we really need these students need these skills for academic success, for sure, personal growth and college readiness. Yeah, talk about it a little bit, and career opportunities. Okay. So number one, very important, is we need to seek truth and be authentic. Okay. This is very important. A lot of parents and the students as well, we tend to compare. We are very outward looking. We always look at others because we can't really look at our face unless we're facing the camera, right? Facing the mirror. Every day we look at others. So humans, we are built of looking at others because we can't look at how our lungs doing, how our heart is doing, unless we do some testing. So, and we tend to compare ourselves with others. You know, and a lot of measurements, a lot of metrics set up in the society is to compare us with ours. So during this kind of the comparison, we tend to lose ourself. Ourself means we're lost in terms of sometimes we don't want to do this, but we have to do it because my friends is doing that. Because I heard about the students going to MIT, the students has very strong competition, so I have to do the competition. So we're all looking at others. So here I think it's very, very important. And we're going back to the basics. We remind everybody that we need to seek the truth as humanity. We seek the truth. It's very important and be authentic to ourselves and to the families and to the society. So what does that mean? Is we would like students to seek interest, the genuinely in that's you are genuinely interested. You really want to do this, okay? And that I'm going to get Richard to talk about a little bit later after I finish a slide because Richard and and Haddie, we have some very interesting journey. I would like Richard to openly share about it. Okay, and so if you don't like doing that and you're forced to do it, you're not going to put 100% your efforts. And when you failed, when you run into some challenges and obstacles, and you will be very stressed because that's not something what you want to do. Is mom and dad want to do, on my friends, like under pressure, I'm doing this. So because for college resume, I'm doing it. So I cannot emphasize this more than this. It's very, very important. All our students, if you want to live a meaningful life, fulfilling life, you don't have to be like superficially successful or be billionaire or be very rich or be a senior VP. Just you're happy, not every single day, not every single moment. It's not possible, but you're genuinely happy and you're genuinely enjoying what you are doing and really starting from seeking the truth and be authentic. Okay, and it is. We all know seeking the truth is very, 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 very important. Okay, so I want to emphasize that. And really, what really matters, the college wants to know the real you. Okay, the real you. It's not about like what projects you do. I mean, it's a reflection of who you are, right? But they care about why you're doing it more than what you're doing it. So they get to know you. And I know this really well because I attend national admission officer or counselor annual meeting. We have close to 8,000, 10,000 people get together every year. I think the next one is going to be Minnesota. And so I meet all the admission officers from pretty much all schools. So a couple of years ago, I was in DC area, Baltimore area. I talked to John Hopkins admission officer, and they are all, mainly John Hopkins, the HEO is a STEM major, right? So I'm like, what's your background as an admission officer, right? They told me, oh, we are all history majors or English majors and this and that. I'm like, how you can recruit STEM majors because your majors all, JHU is very, very famous for STEM, especially for medical or life science, right? And they told me very clearly that we care about why the students doing it more than what the students doing. So if you are coming from underprivileged communities that you don't have access to all this competition resources mainly being trained, Science Olympia, a lot of the parents are leading it. You don't have the STEM parents and you don't have any chance to get into JHU. Yes, you are. Maybe do a very simple project, but within the constraint of your community or the family situation, and you are really passionate about doing something, maybe not as fancy as the others. We had a lot of budget and resources, a lot of coaching. They would still admit you. Okay. So the why is very important, and why is reflecting who you are, not much more than what you did. Okay. So keep that in mind. Everything you do, don't think just, oh, this look good for college. And I know I came from teenager. Everybody was a teenager, right? When I was 14, 15, I really care about how other people look at me as well. Now, you know what? I'm turning 56, okay? Next month. And a lot of times I don't really care, right? I do care, but I care less now than 40 years ago when I was your age, right? And I stand it, the teenager brain is very different because you coming from the, before 12, you're all happy. You really, it's a brain makes some switch. Once you hit the teenager, you really care about how other people look at you. So I'm not going to go here and talk about psychology of the teenager development, but just be aware of your self-awareness and the parents here as well. So I hats off to the parents. You attend this and be aware of the teenager development. It's really different, right? So, but still, I really would like you to remind yourself on a daily basis when you get stressed out, when you can't decide what you want to do, you ask a question, you really want to do it yourself. It really interests you. Okay. So this is the seeking the truth. So how you try this is you can do journaling, and I like journaling as well. When I was young, we didn't have a computer, so I write diary. I think it's good, important to keep a very small notebook. It's a little bit bigger, and to write down things and say, hey, this interests me, this doesn't interest me. If you do an application, like there's a lot of self-generating app, and we students develop some self-generating apps through our internship as well. Sometimes the app, you going on app, then somebody sends you a message, then got distracted. Okay, so we talk about how you can focus the next skill. But this is one thing is seeking the truth and be authentic. Okay. So why I'm gonna stop here, and I will have Richard talk about his journey, experience with Haddee, just overall his kind of growth experience, and where is he going. So Richard, you can share now. Okay. Thank you, Richard. Mhm.